Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about something called believing in the unseen and its consequences. So, so in a lot of spiritual traditions and in a lot of religious traditions, it is emphasized, and this is the crucial point where a scientist is ignoring religious people because they believe in something that is imaginary, that can be grouped as imaginary, that can be grouped as something that is unseen, that is not interactable, and that is not really experimentable, or uh, the things that are believed in a lot of religious traditions and a lot of spiritual traditions are things that cannot be seen and that cannot be proved uh, in an evidential manner. So, scientific thinking is all about proving things through logic, through reason, and through evidence. So, every scientific revelation or every scientific progress is based on evidence, and it has to be understood that scientific research and scientific developments are all, if they are based on evidence, they must be factual. They are facts in the sense that they are true, uh, and you cannot refute this truth of scientific fact through debate or through logic, because even thinking scientifically, you have established all and considered all the logical uh, debate that is going to happen, and you have proved the the uh, the theory, or you have proved the uh, revelation through a set of uh, completely reliable evidence. So all scientific revelation and all scientific research and development and progress is completely factual, and it has to be considered as the truth. Uh, but is only partly the truth. So among among 90%, if you know the 10%, it is the part truth. It is not the complete truth, but it is part truth. That is, it is true about a certain thing that can be seen, that can be evidentially proved, but it's not the complete truth. Not the truth about the whys. The hows can be explained through all these experiments and through all of these logical deductions. But the whys cannot be explained through scientific experimentation and through logic and reason. Hence, hence there always comes a point where a person who is seeking the truth will eventually lead himself towards the spiritual and religious traditions. And when you actually delve into the traditions and practices, and when you actually start practicing them to to seek out if there is um, some truth to all of this, when you actually do this from a very naive perspective, uh, there is one misstep that one finds themselves falling into, and that I myself had been uh, been I was misunderstood. I misunderstood these things, but after careful contemplation and after considering scientific thinking and logical deduction, also, I've come to the conclusion that there is in in this search for truth, there is always something called relative truth. So what you what you will see in the real practical world, um, you can also say that there is a relative world. So, so if you consider that this real practical world is the truth, then there will also be people who are believing that their imaginary world is the truth. Now, now when you delve into this realm of imagination, and when you get a glimpse of the unseen, that maybe the truth is in the unseen, in the unmanifest, then these things from this unseen world start to, the line between them, the dividing line between what is imagination and what is real, starts to evaporate somehow, and people become delusional. So, so I'll have to elaborate on this a little bit. For example, if I get a glimpse of the unseen, if I get a glimpse of uh, the emptiness that is talked about in Buddhism, or if I get a glimpse of the nature of the soul, or if I get a glimpse of the Brahman, then I will start to see the world through that glimpse, through that experience of that emptiness. So, so then, what happens is, from that perspective, from that way, the whole world is relative to you. So even the imaginary world that your mind creates is somehow real to you. That is, for a scientist, the imaginary world is not real, and for a materialist, his imaginary world or whatever you imagine is a dream, right? So whenever you dream, you ignore the dream because you think that it's just imagination. It is not. It is not real in the world. So that is what I mean by the relative truth. So a person who believes in the materialistic world or in the world that is seen, then to him everything that is in the realm of imagination is unreal. But what happens when you get a glimpse of the nature of the soul, or when you get a glimpse of Brahman, or when you get a glimpse of that Shunyata, is that the line between imagination and this world, this seeing world, dissolves. And you will even see that the imagination that is projected by the mind is also somehow real. And then you will start to see that, and you will start to consider your dreams. You'll start to consider your imaginations, and you'll start to consider your daydreams, your everything that is projected by the mind, that a scientist rejects as mere imagination. You, when you when you consider this, when you consider the nature of the soul, then everything that manifests has a meaning to it. There must be a reason why we dream. There must be a reason why we daydream. There must be a reason for all these imaginations. So, in this realm of imagination, what happens is you'll start to create beings. You'll start to imagine um, uh, your your urges and your uh, suppose, for example, if you have a sudden urge for anger, you get this extreme rage. You are filled with rage. Now, from the perspective of the Brahman, from the perspective of emptiness, there must be a reason for this. There must be a reason for this rage to come into manifestation. So you associate this anger with a kind of a possession. Now I'm taking this towards something called Satan, and why do a lot of, especially the Abrahamic religions, believe in Satan and believe these evil deities. And what is the truth behind all this? So I'm trying to take a scientific person, a rational minded person, towards this journey here. And I'm trying to understand what Satan is and what is the truth behind the sayings that there are evil beings that are of the unseen world, or a lot of statements like this. So so there must be a reason for this possession of anger. Now, what you will find is that in a lot of traditions, this is looked as a possession by an evil being. Now, if you look at it like that, if you look at anger as a possession of a jinn, as a possession of children of Satan, or as a possession of some demon, then the possibility of this being to exist is increased. And you will see that a lot of things start to make sense. So this sudden urge of anger starts to make sense if you believe in a position. But also what happens here is you are not taking responsibility for your action, for your anger. So whatever happens in the confines of this body should be held responsible. And we live in a society that holds us responsible for anger. So if we believe that there is a being that is possessing us, like Satan, for example. So, a religious person, especially in our Abrahamic religions, in Christianity, in Judaism, and in Islam, we believe in Satan, and we believe that the voice inside our heads, the evil voice that is leading us towards sin and is leading us towards towards hell, and that must always be looked at as Satan's voice. What this is doing is it is creating a division between your personality. It is creating a division between the voice in your head, the division between thinking as uh, a thinking that is yours and a thinking that is Satan's. Now, when you believe in Satan, you are condemning all the evil thoughts that you have in your mind, and you are saying that that all these evil thoughts are Satan's thoughts, not your thoughts. So, so then, what is real to a scientist? What is real to a rational person is the world, and all the imaginary things are not real. To a religious person, Satan is real. The person who is Satan is some being that is a figment of imagination who is giving you these evil thoughts, and you are supposed to not listen to the evil thoughts. You're supposed to not listen to the anger. You're supposed to not listen to the sexual urge. You're supposed to not listen to anything that is regarded as a sin in our books. So the Abrahamic religions, most of them, especially on the basis of law, are similar. So even though in Hinduism we have a very open uh, system of law, that there is that yes, you can that there is Satan and there is this being, and you can, of course, you are free to do even the satanic acts, and there are people who do this, which are, and there are people who follow this, and they are free to do that too. But here in the Abrahamic religions, we see that you are not supposed to listen to the Satan. You are supposed to be pure, and you are not supposed to listen to the pure thoughts that you have. And you are supposed to neglect them. So, then, what happens if you actually listen to these thoughts? And I will get back to the concept of all these beings, all these imaginary beings, in a while. So let's consider what happens when you follow these thoughts. What happens when you end up listening to all of Satan's thoughts? You end up being an Epicurean person. You end up being open to all your desires. If you want to eat something, you are going to eat it without any restrictions. You are going to uh, probably go to bars and clubs every single night and indulge with women, and you will probably drink a lot and do everything that is instantly gratifying your desires. So this voice is called Satan, the gratifying of your desires instantly. It's called Satan, and it is interesting how humans have developed this ability to bargain with the universe. So what happens if you delay the short-term gratification, or what happens if you delay and not listen to Satan's voice, is that you are then able to somehow bargain with the universe, and you are looking for long-term benefits. You are looking for benefits in the hereafter. You're looking for benefits that are in the future. Then yes, you may not drink now today, but in the future you will have what you desire. For example, if you desire a nice house, then if you don't drink today, and if you do get up early in the morning, go for a run, and exert yourself and push yourself hard, then in the long term you will eventually be healthy enough and be progressing in your career so that you can have this house that you want. So this bargaining with the universe is certainly true, right? We can all say that delaying your short-term gratification can help you in some way or the other in the future, or maybe in the hereafter, or maybe even after death. So, but a scientist, or but a person who believes in the same will probably understand it in this manner, in the manner that the voice is the voice that is yours. Certainly, it's not Satan's voice, but short-term gratification will not lead him towards where he wants to be. So this Satan's voice, what happens when you believe in Satan? First of all the voice that is generated, the evil thoughts that you have, are attributed to Satan. It's not attributed to you. And second of all, you fear this voice. You fear, and you then repent to even think about such things. Now, when you fear something, you will feel sorry for that. What happens when you fear something? What happens when you look at something with complete aversion, with a with a complete negative view, even a part of yourself? So you start to suppress it. You start to say that this is something very wrong. And what happens is you start to repress yourself. Now, so here it is also important to consider the background of the person who is believing in a certain, or who has or who is a rational person, and then delve into this topic. But let us consider what how this when this idea of Satan is accepted as something that is always there inside you, or is always leading you astray from the path. What will happen if you actually believe in this? So we can surely see that people are always bombarded with evil thoughts. You are prone to anger, no matter how much saintly and no matter how much calm and peaceful you may be. Some people are able to transcend this to achieve this calm and peace, but there are a lot of people who are prone to follow these evil thoughts, and everybody is experiencing this evil thought, this surge of either sexuality, or either anger or violence, or and everybody faces this in their day-to-day life. Even a saint will be bombarded with this evil thought. Now, what is this evil thought? Uh, uh, we can consider this as an animalistic feature inside you, and reject all the thoughts that are generated from this animalistic being. For example, violence and aggression and extreme aggression can be neglected by you as an animalistic thing inside you, or you can neglect it as the voice of Satan. But when you accept Satan as a being, as something that is always there to make you go astray from your religion or your path, then you are first of all, you are putting the responsibility of this thought on uh, this being called Satan, or his children, or whatever that is. Maybe in some traditions, it is also there are some things called the jinns, the genies, or whatever beings that are trying to make you. Um, they're trying to allure you towards something, and there are all these different superstitions going on when you in all traditions, and there are ghosts, and there are beings who are trying to there are women who are um, uh, there are beings who appear as women, who try to allure men towards bad things, and there are all these kinds of superstitions. But, above everything, let us consider the superstition of Satan here. Now, in this unseen, in this imaginary world, which is also a part of the illusion, and which is also a part of manifestation. Uh, so, what happens when you believe in Satan? First of all, you will fear this being called Satan. When you fear someone, you give power to them, and Satan certainly has power over all the religious people. And hence, when you listen, when you sometimes indulge in a sexual activity, or Even if it is under the law, you will feel very guilty, as if you have done something very bad. And I've seen people feel so guilty about their bad actions that they are trembling in fear. This is obviously not healthy, right? There is certainly an animalistic part inside you that requires recognition. But what I would suggest any person is to understand these mechanics of short-term gratification. Don't look at Satan as a being to be feared at, but look at him as uh, your evil thought generator, as someone who is always bombarding you with evil thoughts. And look at it as something that you have to conquer, something that you have to slay. Look at it as a beast, as an animal, as something that is wild, but you are more you're more strong than your evil thoughts. You're able to tame the beast. And if you tame the beast, if you tame Satan, then you tame this part of yourself, this animalistic part of yourself, and you conquer it. And uh, you feel confident about yourself. If you have conquered this animalistic part of you, if you have conquered your own desires, then you feel free, you feel strong, you feel an inner strength inside you. And you understand this bargaining with the universe. And it is certainly true. Uh, it may be unseen, this inner law of bargaining may be unseen, but it is certainly true that if you want to gain something in the future, you will have to sacrifice something. And you sacrifice your lower desires for the gain of higher desires. This is certainly true. And but all these misconceptions and what happens in general in spiritual traditions also, I see that a lot of truth is represented as myths. And as a writer, I feel it. I feel why truth has to be represented as and be embodied into a story and then uh, given to the audience, because people are more likely to hear a story. So Satan, uh, in all of our religious books, could just be a character in a story representing this evil or this animalistic nature inside you. And there is partly some truth of it, but thinking that there is an imaginary being who is constantly trying to lead you astray and who you have to fear and whom you have to whom you will if you follow this Satan you will be punished in hell is it is illusory. It leads you towards illusion. So of course tame that animalistic beast inside you, but be aware of all the myth. Be able to separate myth and reality. Be able to separate truth and reality. There is certainly a lot of wisdom in the religious books, and there are a lot of things that the stories uh, convey, that the teachings of these stories are profound in many manners, and the morals of this story that you get, the teachings that you get from reading these stories are very profound, and everybody should read these stories, I would say. But obviously, they are in the realm of imagination, they are not to be taken as real things. There is a reason why we don't see Satan with our own eyes, right? Because if Satan was real, we should have had eyes that are capable of seeing him or her. We should have, according to Darwinian theory, we should have evolved enough to see Satan and to see the beings that are there. But obviously, God did not give us those eyes because it's probably not necessary for us to see Satan. It's probably not even necessary to imagine Satan. So, so when there is so much truth hidden in esoteric traditions and in religion, but it is all under these these unnecessary imagination and unnecessary myth, which are not really something that a scientific person or a rational person will try to learn from, because they seem very uh, metaphorical and they seem very stupid, and this is why a lot of people turn away from religion. And the people who actually get into religion then create another boundary for themselves. And again, this is all part of the ego, and which I will talk about in the next video, uh, how ego can also be looked at as something that is satanic in nature. So thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to make clear that yes, you can have a glimpse into the emptiness and the nature of the soul. There is a misstep that can lead you towards all these different things and all these different irrational uh, knowledge that can lead you maybe towards some things that are not really provable, yet you will be prone to believe them. So be careful of these missteps, and always when it comes to stating and to communicating, you will have to use rational language. You will have to be able to use logic, and you will have to be able to prove what you say. You cannot say that something is true without proving it. Of course, you may believe it, but you will have to prove it to other people too. So, thank you for watching this video.